There's a saying in this world that all people are good. And while most people in this world may be considered good, nice, human citizens, there, on the other hand, is some few people in this world that are straight up toxic and mean. Many people may be involved in toxic relationships and may not even know it. And today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit of how to know if you are involved in a toxic relationship. I'm a girl, and so as y'all know, I have encountered many different people in my life, and while most of these people have been really nice and sweet, I have encountered a few toxic people in my life, and I also did some research on the topic. I bet every single person in this room can think of maybe a few people in your life who are toxic to you and seem to always bring you down and never have anything nice to say or anything positive to say about life. So today with you, I will be sharing a little bit just about toxic people and toxic relationships, and more specifically just about like what an actual toxic person is, the different types of toxic relationships, how to spot if somebody is toxic, and how to get out of a toxic relationship. Now, we all may have our own opinion of what a toxic person actually is. We could all say that a toxic person is maybe somebody that is fake or two-faced, somebody that always brings us down in our life, always negative and never has anything positive to say. But according to Urban Dictionary, a toxic relationship is when a relationship between two people is toxic, dangerous. They're slowly tearing each other down but don't see it. They're poisonous to each other emotionally and spiritually. Now that we just covered a little bit about what a toxic relationship actually is, I'm going to share with you the different types of toxic relationships. There can be a few different types of toxic relationships. The first example is a toxic friendship. This is probably a most common one because friendships can be very toxic. According to Karen Schneider from Fairly Godboss, she says in a toxic friendship, your friend will keep tab of all the times you have disappointed them and throw it back in your face whenever you do something to upset them. A toxic friendship is a big example of a toxic relationship, and another example is a toxic relationship of like dating. A dating couple can often get caught up and feel like they never get along. They're always arguing and fighting and just not in the place they want their relationship to be in. This can be a strong example of a toxic relationship. And then another example of a toxic relationship could be a relationship with like parents, because people may not have the best relationship with their parents and it can be very toxic. These were just a few examples of what a toxic relationship is and just different types, and now I will be sharing with you signs to spot toxic relationships. Now there's probably a billion different reasons or ways to spot if somebody is toxic for you, by the way they treat you, the way they make you feel about yourself, how they act around you, how you have to act around them, the amount of attention they give you, and the time they take to talk to you. According to Nadine Jolie Courtney from OprahMag.com, a common warning sign of a toxic relationship is feeling you cannot be yourself around somebody. If you're constantly having to act a certain way around somebody and feel like you just can't be yourself around them, then that's probably a big sign that they're toxic for you. And another sign is negativity. It seems like there's some people in this world today who are always negative on things and never have anything positive to say. And this is a big warning sign of toxic, and if they just are constantly bringing you down and not making you feel like the way you should. And then a final big sign to see is if somebody's toxic for you is really how they treat you, and if they're criticizing you, always tearing you down and not treating you with kindness or ever giving you compliments. According to Susan Heitler from PsychologyToday.com, one of the most common ways to spot somebody, a toxic person, is how the way they treat you. So if they're just constantly tearing you down, criticizing you for every little thing, then it's probably a good idea to get out of that relationship because it's very toxic. Now that I have shared the different ways to spot a toxic relationship, I will be sharing how to get out of it. Now, you may be a little scared to get out of a toxic relationship, as it can be scary to drop somebody and just not talk to them again, but there are a few ways to do this on the easier side. According to reachout.com, they have many different ways for you to get out of toxic relationships. One of the ways, the easier ways, could be meeting with them face to face and just talking about the problems and telling them everything you feel. And from there, they can fix their problems and the relationship can change. However, this often may not be the case and will not change things, so it may be best for you to just get them out of your life. And the best way to maybe do that is the subtle, slower way, and that would be to just try to not make contact with him, try not to text them as much or hang out with them, and just avoid contact, and maybe they'll just slowly fade out of your life. But if that does not work, you may just have to formally contact that person and tell them you need to lose all contact with them, and just like blocking them on social media and just not talking to them to get them out of your life. And then the most important step to getting out of a toxic relationship is to always know your worth. Whenever it comes to toxic people, they can tear you down and make you not feel worthy, but it's always important just to know your worth and know that you were loved. Today with you, I shared all about toxic relationships, and more importantly, I shared just a little bit about what a toxic relationship is, the different types of toxic relationships, how to spot a toxic relationship, and how to get out of a toxic relationship. Toxic relationships are everywhere, and just make sure you watch these warning signs, and if you're in a toxic relationship, to get out as soon as possible. Thank you.